There are two main modes of reasoning in social science, the deductive reasoning mode and the inductive reasoning mode. As I mentioned earlier, research is essentially detective work. Each case begins with a mystery and a question. Under deductive reasoning, the researcher already have a hunch or even a theory about their topic of interest. They then proceed to gather the information or data. After that, they analyze the data to see whether their theory is supported or valid. This is an example of deductive reasoning. The researcher begins with a general theory that says the US is patriarchal. Then the researcher proceeds from general to specific to test the hypothesis that more men hold elected office in the US. The researcher then proceeds to gather some relevant data and analyze those data. And they observe that indeed, the number of men in Congress exceeds the number of women in Congress. Thus, the researcher concludes that their evidence supports the theory. Deductive reasoning is a top-down approach. It starts from the theory. The researcher proceeds to gather the data and then analyze the data to see if the data supports the theory. Here, as you can see, inductive reasoning is a bottom-up approach. Like the detective, the researcher first gather the data or evidence. It's like the detective or policeman who visits the crime scene. From all this data or evidence, the researcher proceeds to find whether there are any patterns or regularities from this data or evidence. Then, the researchers proceed to find a tentative theory for these regularities or patterns that emerge from the data he or she gathers. Here is an example of inductive reasoning. As you can see, the researcher wants to examine the association between the type of college attended and a person's reported comfort associating with people of different races. So he or she proceeds to gather data and then analyze the data he or she gathers. From the data analysis, the researcher found that people who attend racially mixed colleges report greater comfort associating with people of other races than those who went to segregated colleges. He or she then develops a tentative theory, stating that interacting with people of other races reduces racial prejudice.